Oh, good. Nice crowd already. All right, so let's get started. We're venture starters. We are a brand new community. I want to thank you all for jumping in, joining, and being part of this experience. It's outperformed all of my expectations. You all rock. I think it's just great to have you all here. Venture Starters is essentially the group of people who start ventures. And that's a lot of different types of people, not just the founders, it's the investors, it's the service providers, it's the, it's everybody. And you are all welcome. We've had a continued string of successes to report. We're officially over 2,000 followers on our LinkedIn page, the Venture Starters LinkedIn page. So if you haven't followed us, go to our LinkedIn page and follow us. We're actually at 2,100 the last I looked, which is so fantastic. We're growing really fast. Also, we have over 2,000 emails of people who have registered for these events. So thank all of you for accepting those emails. And if you're not getting the emails, it's a possibility that I'm not in the right folder. You might want to look for them. I'm sending them out to pretty much everybody the day before the event, the morning of the event, and 2 hours before the event. So if you're not seeing those, please check, I guess, your spam box. But we are getting a very large number of people who are seeing the emails and they're clicking on them and they're going to the registration. For registration, the best place to go is venturestarters.com. We started off with 100% of all of the people who were joining us coming through the LinkedIn event pages. But now we've shifted to over 50% are signing up through the venturestarters.com site. It's a easier way to register because you can register for all the events that are in the near future instead of just the one that LinkedIn might show you. So if you're not actively going to venturestarters.com, I suggest you do for just the future. It'll make it a lot easier. Next week, we're going to have 2 events. The same Wednesday night event we will be having, which is open to everybody. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. Please come. It's the regular Wednesday night event. But a week from Saturday, on the 24th, we're going to have a special event that's really just focused on life sciences. So if you're in the life science industry, please consider coming to that event. It's a Saturday. It's an afternoon event. It's designed to be a little bit different than this event. Oh, excuse me. Let me mute again. Everybody, please try and be on mute if you're not speaking. It will help us out immensely. So a week from Saturday, it's at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to allow a little bit more time for discussion. It doesn't need to be a quick 2-minute elevator pitch. I'm hoping we'll get a really great conversation going among the life science community. We will be doing other events in the future. We're going to do a climate tech event, and we will do others, and I'll let you know as we figure out those events which have not been scheduled yet. The rules are the same as every week, which essentially is this: keep your microphone on mute all the time unless you're speaking. Even if you're about to speak and you're one speaker away, please don't put your microphone on until it's time to speak. I want to try and keep as much noise out of this so we can all listen and get to hear you and, digest the presentation. So the other main rule is be nice. If you want to ask a question, and I invite all the investors here, if you'd like to ask a question following a presentation, just be nice, easy questions. We're not trying to embarrass anybody. A number of our founders are literally pitching for the very first time in front of an audience. So we want to encourage everybody. This is a community that's here to support everybody. Some of our founders are way sophisticated. Others are in different places. We just want to enjoy everybody and see if we can hook them up and connect them with the right people. The chat is where everything happens. If you haven't been to one of our events in the past, please make sure you open up the chat. everybody else knows, but that's where you connect with everybody. And those of you who are about to pitch, a few minutes ahead of time, please put your information in the chat so people can find your key information if they're interested in what you're doing. You can also modify your name by hovering on your picture, and there's 3 dots, and selecting the option to change your name. Don't change your actual name itself. If your name is John, still be John, but you might add your email address afterwards. It's another way of being able to share connection information with the community. The way that we basically organize the event is through the digital hand raises. And for tonight, again, I would hope that those of you who have pitched in the last week or two, just wait a few minutes for those that have not pitched to raise their hand. If you go to the reaction button, which is usually at the bottom, you will see that there's an option for a digital raise your hand. So for any of the startup founders that would like to do a 2-minute elevator pitch, now's the time to basically go and, add your hand. And then for anybody else who's in the room that just wants to introduce yourself to the rest of the community, feel free to raise your hand and come on board and introduce yourself. You could be an investor, you might be a service provider, but if you're going to do that, try and limit the information that you're going to share to a minute, maximum 2 minutes, because most of us are here to hear the pitches and, respond through the chat. But I do want to give the opportunity for everybody to get to know each other. So if you just want to have FaceTime, if you'd like to be on center stage, feel free to raise your hand and present yourself to us so we can get to know who you are. Let's see. Again, just with regard to mute, please try and stay on mute. That way we will be all happy tonight and the event will move very smoothly. That's all I want to say to get us started. Let's get going with hearing from our beautiful community members. So up first is Lonnie, I see and by the way, the order that I'm going to go with is the order that Zoom has put you in, this order that's on my gallery screen. I can see virtually all the people who've raised their hand so far. You're welcome to raise your hand later on if in the event. You don't have to do it immediately and still be added to the list. So Lonnie is up first, who happens to be sliding away from the camera. So hopefully you're coming back and you'll unmute yourself. We're not hearing you yet, Lonnie. You're still on mute.
I know.
There you go. Welcome.
First of all, Mark,
first up.
Thank you for calling me beautiful. So, hi everybody. It's I guess this is my 5th week or so with the group. I really love it. I want to thank Mark and Luke for setting this up. Let me turn my phone up so you don't have to listen to that boing. We are in the point of care diagnostics business that's cloud connected, which means this is all the stuff you saw during the pandemic. This is our simple test unit. It's ready to go. We're ready to scale. The cloud is ready to go. And what we do is we test patients wherever they are. We're an agnostic system, which means we adapt to other people's test cartridges. And this is a very rich feature set we have in the device itself. We're kind of like an Android. You can print out from the unit, you can print out from the cloud. And then our cloud also connects to other clouds as middleware so that you can send the test results up to, say, an electronic health record or an agency. So it's a completely open system. If you have a guest or an engineering company that's focused on life science, which is why we're not doing the tests, we're adapting the tests. So we're raising $450,000 to scale sales, and we're interested in people participating in the success of the company. I guess that's about it. Thanks very much for listening.
Okay, great. Does anybody have any questions for Lonnie?
Well, if they come up, hit me in the chat or go to my LinkedIn and.
That's perfect. Look, nobody
you.
needs to ask a question unless you really have a good one, and I appreciate that. So let's move on to John, who's up next.
Sorry, I don't mute myself. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate again the invite to the event, and nice to meet everybody. My name's John Carreray. I'm an internet entrepreneur. I've been doing internet businesses and cloud-based businesses since 1995, building scalable internet types of businesses. I created jokes.com, which was sold to Comedy Central, and jobs.com, which was acquired by Monster and other businesses. My current company is called Energy Cloud, and we're focused on the built environment. So we make buildings sustainable and healthy. And the main product I want to talk to you, just leave you with 3 points quickly tonight about our Hummingbird system. So our Hummingbird system deactivates COVID-19 in the air instantly. And we proved this with solid data and many, many months of testing at USC's Keck School of Medicine. So we've got great efficacy results, and I would put our results against any product in the world. Whereas most of the competition takes 30 to 60 minutes, we're instantly deactivating it. I'm also announcing tonight, I don't think I announced it last week, but we just got through with additional clinical trials at USC, and we're happy to announce that we also deactivate Delta and Omicron variants, which is important because vaccines need to be retooled to handle these variants. Whereas we want to make the business case that it makes sense if you're going to upgrade your buildings and infrastructure, you might as well pick a system that's going to be able to handle anything that comes along. The second point is that it breaks down VOCs, volatile organic compounds, which are other pollutants in our environment. So this is a long tail business opportunity. We wonder why we get cancer in our buildings, and it's because there's all of these pollutants that are invisible, but they're there affecting our health. So our system breaks those down very effectively. And third, just quickly, we're doing a Series A raise for 8 million, and we're revenue generating. And if you'd like to learn more, there's much more to tell you than in 2 minutes, but my information's in the chat, my LinkedIn information's there. If you connect with me on LinkedIn, please let me know that you were at Mark's event, that's how you heard about us. Thanks so much, appreciate it.
Hey, John, I got one question quick. Are you using UVC technology?
We use UVC light, but UVC light by itself does not do it because in air, because the air goes by too quickly. So we're using photocatalytic oxidation, and in our case, the UV light, which is at a very specific wavelength, hits our titanium dioxide grid. And in our system, all of the air has to go through the grid. So that's why it's a central point, choke point, to be able to treat COVID in buildings, because all of the air has to go through the HVAC system by code in a building, and we're able to get it that way.
The reason why I mentioned the UVC, there's a lot of studies that have been done that I've been involved in. You know, everybody's selling, oh, we have UVC, we have UC doorknobs, we have UC, all that stuff. And in fact, our last thing was with Boeing. Boeing had to drop their product of the lavatory that cleans itself by UVC. So it's nice to hear you doing something very different. I'll be interested. I'll send you some information about me, and if we can connect offline, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, there's more in depth, but I won't go into the weeds for everyone else's sake tonight. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about what is good and what doesn't and what works. So
okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Could I ask a question about that Hummingbird system?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, what's the air throughput that you can handle?
Each unit's engineered to handle up to 2,500 CFM, or about 5 tons per unit, but we can put the units together like Lego blocks, and it can scale to any size HVAC. So that's a very important part of our system, is that we can scale to handle any size HVAC system. Just by
Can you talk about the price point approximate, perhaps?
Sure. No, I have no problem. We have a bigger system than I have time to explain about all that it does. We have indoor air quality, very sophisticated indoor air quality monitoring that comes with it, and as well as HVAC AI. That whole combined EQ, Hummingbird EQ system runs around $3,995 per unit. But you know, you got some people, you don't have to buy the indoor air quality monitoring or the other AI components if you want. So it could be even a lower price. On the whole, we think it's a good value for all that we're bringing to the table with every single unit.
Mark, just a quick comment, because I've talked with John. And for the rest of you who don't know me very quickly, I'm Jack Torben, and I run a company called ComSciences. And ComSciences is basically an investor scouting organization. We also help you get packaged and introduce you to investors personally that we know all over the world. John and I had a long talk about what he's doing, and I got to tell you, it is very, very, very impressive. And that's really what I wanted to say. John, you did a great job.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, John.
Thanks.
I'm gonna mute everybody. I still hear background noise. Okay, we're good again. So now got Steve up next. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for doing this. This is really an awesome community built. So my name is Steve McGinnis. I'm the founder of Polywog, and we're releasing a hosted service we're calling Trust Cache that lets you confirm the authenticity and status basically of any kind of document that you might have. So a pattern that we're all kind of familiar with is we get an authority that issues some sort of document to a person, for example, say a lab result, and later that person presents a document to some other authority when they need something, like say customs inspection. So it's a super efficient process, one we use every day, but there's when there isn't direct communication between the issuing authority and the receiving authority, there's risk associated that what gets presented may not match the intent of the issuer at the time it gets presented. And that's either unintentionally or sometimes in fraudulent cases intentionally. So what our Trust Cache service does, it cryptographically ensures levels of certainty that's sufficient for even financial and health critical use cases, but at an internal transaction cost that is effectively zero. So we can address all kinds of spectrum of use cases, from those that may not need the maximum level of certainty that do. Now we're in beta. We're talking to potential customers and partners, and we're seeking a $500,000 raise. And that's basically to provide us some runway, accelerate the BD effort, and accommodate the various technical features that come up as we develop this market. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Does anybody have any questions? Steve, please leave your information in the chat so people can follow up with you. We're going to move on to another Steve, but in this case, Steven.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me. It's my first event, so thrilled to be here.
Welcome.
Thank you. So I'm Stephen Barlow, co-founder of Binge, an AI-fueled platform for the streaming industry, which better unites viewers and streamers by solving the what to watch next problem for TV viewers and what to stream next for streamers in studios with our B2B big data solution. So our B2B and B2C side are each fueled by patent-protected AI tools that have processed 14 billion conversations around TV and film and profiled 67 million American TV viewers. So for the first time ever, we've mapped all major 5 million streaming TV titles based on all the conversations that have ever occurred around each title. So our unbiased B2C discovery app, a TV viewer can find out what to watch, cast, and stream directly from their smartphone, and then create content around that title for friends and family. While with our big data reporting, a streamer can discover untapped viewers, actionable insights on current viewers, and how to directly engage with each group, which obviously has big implications for programming strategy, retention, and then digital advertising spend as well. So we have 50,000 users in our private beta app. We'll monetize that through digital advertising. We've just entered into a big data pilot with a large global studio, finalizing partnerships with 3 others. Our first revenue milestone will be next month. We're raising $4 million with $3 million committed and have $1 million outstanding. Thank you.
Very good. Anybody have a question? Okay, well, Stephen, meet people in the chat and we'll move on to Dave. You're up next.
Thank you, Mark. My name is Dave. I'm CEO of Bryce Mckinley. So I invented a shape analysis software that can measure shape without measuring area or volume, believe it or not. And I might actually win the Nobel Prize 20 years from now. So ShapeGenie is a software that measures biological shapes that even deep learning can't measure and the human eye can't measure. So for example, Dr. Renee is the best radiologist. In the morning, she's full of energy. Her diagnostic accuracy is 100%, right? And she's ready to train the next generation. But by 3 p.m., she's exhausted. And as much as she wants to save lives, her accuracy drops tremendously, right? And so the pain points that she faces are also faced by surgeons and psychiatrists. That is, one, there is no tool to help her be accurate, especially when she's tired. Two, there's no way for her to measure what her experience tells her should be important. And three, cutting edge AI doesn't work on old MRI data, right? And so the treasure trove of images her hospital sits on goes to waste. So the solution is ShapeGenie, which allows her to simply trace the shape right in the MRI or X-ray or ultrasound that she wants to measure. And our software will turn it into a distinct number that even deep learning can't do. This allows for great machine learning, right, to detect diseases early on. And so our competitors are generally a generic PACS software, right? Software that radiologists use to annotate images, or they are companies that only apply to one disease like Alzheimer's, right? Our software works for multiple diseases across multiple organs in the body. And so currently we have early adopters from prestigious or premier research universities all around the world with more coming on. And we've raised 885K in safes so far. We're doing a bridge round right now, 400K on WeFunder, right? We're doing our WeFunder campaign. And next year we'll be raising 3 million for a priced seed round. And because we patented our technology, I foresee that in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to bring in probably 15 to 20 million in non-dilutive funding from SBIR grants, right, from government agencies, because we're the only show in town that can measure what even deep learning can't. Thank you.
Very interesting. I heard somebody. Anybody have a question?
Yeah, I have.
Hi, Akash. Hello.
How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
I heard that you're telling you are just you have a detection apps to detect a disease. How many percent you sure that I have a disease, I can detect, I can find earlier, I have this kind of disease.
Yeah, it depends on which disease. Right now, our most advanced model, or the one that we have made more progress on, is Alzheimer's. And we're able to detect Alzheimer's with 95% accuracy. And get this, by analyzing only 3 slices of an MRI stack. Right, so the MRI stack has hundreds of slices in each of you, right? 100 to 150. We just need 3. And I purposely stopped at 3 just to prove how awesome our technology is, right? 95% accurate with just 3. And so in fact, the NSF, National Science Foundation, approved our proposal and has invited us to submit a full SBIR grant on that project, right? So just to give you an example of how great, how sensitive our technology is compared to area and volume.
Thank you.
Dave, would you mind putting your contact details in the chat for us?
Yes.
Thank you.
Dave, by the way, I am very interested in seeing your deck. So please reach out to me. I'm not actually in the chat. My assistant is acting as me in the chat. So if any of you are trying to reach me directly, just know it's my assistant. But Dave, I would be interested in learning more about what you're doing. And please come to our life science event if you have time a week from Saturday.
Yes, I'll be there. Thank you, Mark.
Great. Let's move on. Daryl, I'm glad you're
Ask a question real quick.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry. My apologies. Go ahead.
Do you have any estimate of how many lives could be saved by implementing this technology? Just back of the envelope, I don't know.
Over the next 10, 20 years, billions of lives. Yeah.
And can I ask one more question, Mark? Sorry.
Yes, please. This sounds important. This technology needs to get unleashed, it sounds like.
So I'm in the bio and med tech space. So I'm just curious. So you said that it's already patented. Where are you in the regulatory phases?
Yes, and so right now for our shape analysis software, we haven't done the 510K process yet because
Okay.
all our users are for research purpose only, even if they're clinicians, and so we
Okay.
will get to that next year.
Sounds good. Yeah, once the the scope of the data starts to be used for other reasons. Yeah, the 510K will be coming.
Yeah, definitely. And since we're here, yeah, so we were just picked by Digital First Magazine as top 10 companies to watch in 2022. So that's a nice piece of recognition that we appreciate.
Wonderful. Congrats.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mark, if I may, before you move, Dave, I just sent you a private message. In the technology that I'm working on, there's been 2 companies in the VC space who are specialized in the healthcare space. I just sent you their contact details. You should try to reach out to them and present the idea for them, because I know they're looking for assets in potentially in this space may be a great fit.
Okay, thank you, Jesus.
I have a quick question to Dave. Hi, Dave. So what is how your software is different than a usual segmenter? So you do segmentation of a sort and you're adding shape analysis, I guess. Is that the distinct feature, the shape analysis? You somehow quantify the shape, let's say something looks like a fractal and it has a certain hidden dimensions or whatever dimensions, and is that what you're doing?
Yeah, spoken like a scientist. Yes. What
Yeah,
I did, I created a transform, right? A grid system that translates 2-dimensional images into pairs of coordinates, frequencies. So I do the fast Fourier transform, right? So the fast Fourier transform can, eliminate the background noise of my Zoom, so you only hear my voice, right? Because it's sound frequencies. I created a way to allow the fast Fourier transform to then decompose images, right? And so we can measure things that the eye can't see. So in a way, yes, it's another dimension of spatial information.
Thanks.
Okay, Dave, that was really amazing. So thank you for sharing that with us. We're going to move on to Daryl, who's been with us before. He's one of my favorites, and I look forward to hearing the latest.
Oh, thank you, Mark. Yes, it's been a 3-week hiatus, but I wanted to make sure I dropped into this great community you have going. I appreciate your time and support. So yeah, let me tell you about Ricotti. Ricotti is a sports tech platform that will allow teams or give teams the ability to better partner with fans and collaborate by taking advantage of their fan memories and really turning them into strategic assets, tapping into some good emotional data that teams don't currently have and generate new revenue, while focusing on providing value to sports enterprises. Ricotti will also reward fans via digital tokens for sharing their favorite memories in order to drive year-round engagement, which is vital as teams still catch up and enterprises catch up from revenue lost during COVID, and appetites and trends changing in the marketplace. Our scalable multi-tenant SaaS platform will aggregate fan-generated content that clients can integrate into a variety of multimedia experiences, including but not limited to digital scrapbooks, social media posts, vignettes for venue scoreboards, TV streaming broadcasts, et cetera, as well as staying on top of Web3 and the metaverse. So easy integration with various platforms that are sprouting up. We're focused on a 3-tiered monthly subscription that includes a robust CMS, an AI-driven data capture, analytics dashboard, SMS, email, QR code services, and tech support. And there's also a 4th revenue stream that will allow for a strategic content management of Ricotti accounts on behalf of teams, athletes, and brands. We've received validation through 300+ conversations with top decision makers across college, sports, and professional teams, as well as working now in the NIL collective space in the NCAA ranks. There's lots of programs and things that we're finishing up. Right now, we're still very early. We've raised $40,000 with a goal of 500,000 to finish off our MVP. And we're really looking forward to getting that wrapped up, as we've targeted 3 to 4 teams to partake in our pilot program. And that's about it. Tried to keep it short. I'd love to sync up with some folks and continue our dialogue from past venture starter pitches. But yeah, happy to answer any questions. I did put my information in the chat. I'll do it again just after this.
Okay, does anybody have any questions of Daryl?
How did you come up with the name? It's a great name.
So it came before my involvement. So the founder, Andrew Nahar, who's been part of this community as well, wanted to do something that symbolized community, because it's a new community, and it means in Swahili, Ricotti means community. So that's the genesis of the name. I'm helping Andrew, across many fronts. I'll be running point on operations, but I have a deep background in sports digital media, having worked with the NHL for 22 years by way in digital rights partnerships with the Major League Baseball, Advanced Media, and Disney streaming services. So when it comes down to content development, user experience, and strategic growth, there's a wide variety of things that I could lean into, and we have a great support system.
Anybody else? Okay, Daryl, thank you for attending again, and appreciate. We're going to move on to John.
Okay,
You're
thank
up
you.
next.
Hi, thank you very much. I appreciate this venue, Mark. Synthetic fertilizer production and use negatively impacts our air, water, and soil. My name is John Ireland. I'm the CEO of Ntp Technologies. Ntp Technologies is on a mission to reduce and eliminate synthetic nitrogen-based fertilizers. Our salt-free 100% organic nitrate fertilizer can replace the equivalent of 4x synthetic fertilizer because of its purity and uptake values. The product is produced on-site and on demand using non-thermal plasma technologies, which require only air and renewable energy as its inputs. No more transportation or storage costs. Our customers, the future farmers of America, include hydroponic farms, vertical farms, organic farms, and cannabis growers. Our customers want an eco-friendly fertilizer that is easy to apply, affordable, and increases crop yield. Future farmers purchase over $2 billion in nitrogen-based fertilizers per year here in the US, which is only about 1% of the world's fertilizer market. We have 2 pilot programs being run at 2 large vertical farms and are reaching out to our customers using traditional sales and marketing channels, as well as universities and ag extensions in each state. Our business model is to rent the machine and charge a fee for production. We are looking to raise our Series A of $3 million to develop our next generation machine that can handle up to 100 acres of farmland. Even the US government think this is important and are issuing a $250 million fund, supposedly over the summer, but they're a little late, to focus on US-based fertilizer development. Any questions?
Yes, actually I do. So you were talking about your customers. What are you currently generating in terms of revenue right now?
We are pre-revenue or in the testing phase we currently have 2 pilot programs, and we have 1 other vertical farm coming on board within the next month.
Okay. And what's your current burn rate?
Our burn rate is somewhere around, I don't know, about $5,000 to $6,000 a month. It's pretty cheap. We're not actually taking salaries or anything like that. We have the machines that are actually built. The dollars are really for growth and to generate the next machine. Currently, the machine we have is kind of lab scale. It does about 1 to 2 acres. And that's why we're kind of focusing on the hydroponics, vertical farmers, etc.
I don't have disheartening any of this to never feel like you're quite good enough, but I promise you are. This is something you're... Sorry about that. I don't know where that was coming from.
I've got a question.
Go ahead.
Is this strictly the nitrogen component of fertilizer from the air?
John,
you're obviously not getting the N or the K or the P, potassium, phosphorus. It's just nitrogen, I assume, right?
John, you're gonna have to turn.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. Yes, it's just the nitrates themselves. The idea is we're actually providing nitrates in the form the plant actually needs. as opposed to a synthetic fertilizer, which tends to be a salt, which then the microbes in the ground have to break down. Also causes a lot of excess mineral buildup in systems like hydroponics and vertical farms. So we allow them to control just that nitrogen component.
Okay, anybody else? John, thank you very much. That was fascinating.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely meet people in the chat and see who's here that wants to cup with you. We're going to move on now to Sean. Sean Allen, you're up next.
All right. Hi, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
My name's Sean from sunny South Africa. It is 20 to 4 in the AM. It's nice to meet you all.
Thanks for getting up, staying up for that. We appreciate it. Go ahead.
I really love it. Yeah, we've got a couple of people in here to support. And this is actually something a bit different. It's a people project. So therefore, we're going to have to bring people. We also believe that the one thing more powerful than money in the world is people. It's also more powerful than COVID or any disease. Nothing can move unless we do it, right? So that's what we're here for. I'm Sean Allen. I'm from Stellenbosch, Cape Town, and the founder of an idea leading to the project called Vision People Project. So you can probably find some information in the chat. I did post something out there, and I would like to put it to you like this. So Mark, again, thank you for inventing this program. Great idea, you know, bridging the gap between founders and investors. And I'm here to let you know, I'm going to read from my book because it's my first time doing this in a live Zoom. Actually, it's not the first time. I've done this a few times with private investors. So let's go. So I'm here to let you know what is coming with VPP. Vision People Project is a collection of roadmap solutions set up to systematically fuel each progressive income item. I'm here to talk about the flagship product, EduTech, for which we are seeking to secure our incubation. We have some US property investors and believers to thank for bringing us this far, so thank you. I know some of them are on the call. And we seek to fill our initial seed phase quota. We're pioneering educational combinations, sadly missing from conventional education. And if you think about that, if you look at the schooling system, we're still teaching our kids the stuff that we learned 30 years ago. So at some point we need to catch up. Now our education is positioned in the new digital economy, mindset, and neuro-linguistic programming. We're developing an active learning management system while deploying an innovative cash flow model using a decentralized autonomous organization, demonstrating a solution to student debt and autonomous safe sustainability. So what that basically means is that we're developing a learning management system where anyone is able to come for a collection of masterclass items and content from proven educational directors and thought leaders from various continents at one singular low price, as well as to demonstrate a cash flow system which is there to combat the student debt problem. I believe if we can demonstrate this, we're going to set a new standard in education, cash flow, as well as, rewards, which is what all companies are trying to do. But let's see where it goes. So more information, we're happy to go into deep dives. We've got the website where you can book one of those and speak to any of our other angels as well. We have been at the Africa Tech Week 2-3 weeks ago, where we have a number of high value clients who wish to see us reach an MVP, including Canon, Standard Bank, as well as one or two from the United States. So guys, any questions?
Okay, does anybody have a question? I have a quick comment, which is thank you, Sean, for getting dressed up in a suit and tie for our networking event. Not sure if anybody else has done that before. Oh, I think Al has. But anyways, it's rare. I'm not suggesting to anybody that you need to do that. This is a casual event. definitely come and just be yourself. But anyways, thank you, because that was really impressive that you came and you were up at whatever 4 a.m.-ish for us. Wow, I'm really happy that you participated, and hopefully others will meet you in the chat. We're going to move on. We're now going to hear from Karin, who we've had here before. Thank you very much. Let's hear what you have to say. You're on mute still.
Hey, Mark, while we wait for her, I had a question, more so of a comment.
Okay.
Excuse me. So my name is Bryce McKinley. I'm a 9-time international best-selling author, international keynote speaker, and real estate investor here in America. I'm also partners with Sean. I thought we were going to be on a lot later. I was trying to figure out the timing from his time to where we were on. But just to add insult to amazing presentation injury here, for those of you that maybe not fully understood, because I was trying to get in as fast as I could here. The reason this project is so important, if I could just piggyback that real quick, is whenever we solve or build a company, we're really here to solve a problem. And the biggest problem that we foresee in Vision People Project is the fact that there is a lack of understanding of the new digital economy. If we go back, 10 years ago, we started tapping phones and tapping credit cards. And 20 years ago, we were still just starting to swipe credit cards. And then, 30 years ago, we were still at the old paper credit card, right? Transaction copier, right? With Vision People Project, as we go into the new digital economy, people like my mom, my grandma, they're not going to understand how to set up a wallet or what the heck a token is. And there's very little to no education out there. The Vision People Project makes it so easy that your grandma can get into the new digital economy by way of the micro courses, setting up a token and a wallet and understanding what the blockchain is. But even more so important, as someone comes in and takes a course, they're rewarded with tokens on the blockchain. So anybody that comes in after them has the ability to earn while they learn. And so that's the key to this, because we make it so stupid simple. I've bought and sold over 10,000 properties completely virtual, and taking not just real estate, but the new digital economy into the blockchain with an education platform will absolutely change the world. And we were actually just invited to speak at the WEF in Davos in Switzerland. And so we obviously have a little bit of validity. And so we're looking to secure some finances for the rest of the remainder of this incubation project. So wanted to piggyback and just kind of add that in there for those of you that may not have fully understood what it was.
Okay, well, thank you. And your background is impressive, and I appreciate your comments, but I do want to move on to Karin, and thank you, Karin, for being patient.
Yeah, no worries at all. And I'm going to do something a little different. I'm actually going to be on a TV show on Monday, and I have a 60-second pitch. And so my pitch is really short, and I want to make sure that I'd love some feedback, of course.
You got it.
Okay. Are you tired of spending your whole paycheck at Whole Foods? Well, so are we. Hi, I'm Karin Frame, 3-time founder and CEO of Makina, where we help you discover, find, and earn cash and rewards on healthy and sustainable products anywhere you like to shop, even online. All you have to do is download Makina, select products that match either your dietary needs or lifestyle preferences, scan the barcode, and submit the receipt. In exchange, brands get valuable data about their consumers, who's buying their products, where they're buying them, and what else is in the basket, helping them become more efficient and effective with their marketing dollars. We're generating revenue, have over 112,000 active mobile users, 3,500 products, and have collected 175,000 receipts from 40,000 retailers. Now we're ready to scale. We're raising $2 million and have set aside $500,000 for you investors in the boardroom. We'd love for you to join us as we build Makina into a household name and help people lead healthier lives on a cleaner planet. Thank you.
Wow, that's a great elevator pitch, I have to say.
That's
really
what it's supposed
well
to be.
done. Okay, kudos to you. I don't know, does anybody have any questions?
I just want to add that great pitch, and I'd like to connect with you. I'll put some information in the chat.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So it has to be 60 seconds and I cannot flub up.
You did great.
You
You
did
obviously
fine.
had it memorized, and it was impressive how much information you got into 60 seconds.
A lot.
I hope it works for you. Kudos.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to move on to Cody.
Hello, thanks Mark, thanks everybody. So hi, I'm the scientific founder of Imaginostics. It's a Harvard Medical School startup revolutionizing the field of medical imaging. And so currently there is no imaging technology for quantifying brain diseases, and early detection is impossible. And magnetic resonance imaging cannot quantify brain abnormalities at the individual level. And so it just really leaves clinicians guessing unless they can see really just a gross abnormality that they pick up by visual inspection. Our technology delivers safer and 10 times better MRIs. We can quantify microvascular structure, function, and leakage for an objective assessment. And our technology takes the form of a software that's compatible with existing MRI scanners and hardware. And new data is created with our method based on quantum physics with 6 patents. This year, we've received 3 prestigious awards, including $725,000 investment from the Alzheimer's Drug Discovery Foundation, a $500,000 grant from the National Institute of Aging, and a $436,000 grant from the National Institute of Mental Health. We're working with Invicro, a Boston-based clinical research organization owned by Konica Minolta, as a partner towards commercialization and drug development for accelerating drug development in pharmaceutical companies. We have directors of neuroradiology at Brigham and Women's Hospital, Mass General Hospital, Memorial Sloan Kettering, University of Pennsylvania, Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, Johns Hopkins University, that all want to use our biomarkers in their clinical practice. And all of them we've applied for grants with as well. We're thrilled to be starting our pivotal clinical study at Brigham and Women's Hospital this fall. It's a 96 subject study, which will test the ability to detect dementia early in patients with mild cognitive impairment and to characterize dementia later in patients with vascular dementia. We're looking for an additional 2.5 million with a minimum check size of just 50,000. And we have some VCs in due diligence right now. And thank you for your time.
Very good. It was well presented. I would be interested in seeing your deck. Does anybody have any questions? Cody?
I'd be interested in seeing your deck as well. And my information's in the chat, so you should be able to find it.
And also, please come back on the 24th when we do the life science event if you happen to be available that day. I think it would make sense because we'll have a few more investors that are focused on life sciences there that day.
Just quickly,
go ahead.
I'm putting in my stuff too. I'd like to hear, because I'm doing a lot of women's health and a lot of associations and the femtech. So I'd be very interested to learn more about what you're doing and what we're doing. I'd see a lot of parallels.
Got a question, Cody, or a comment? It's great technology, by the way. Have you guys applied it and found differences, I guess sex differences or ethnic specific differences through your technology?
No, we've seen genetic differences. So, for example, on APOE4 genetic modified rat models, we can detect abnormality that happens way before dementia onset. Around like a 20-year-old human equivalent. Well, there are sex differences in those models too, but that hasn't been a focus as far as.
Yeah, I think your technology, is poised to help in that area, right? To reduce racial bias or data bias, right, and sex bias in AI models. So.
Sure, and then also our clinical study that we have, coming up is well-rounded in terms of the races and the ethnicities. There's equal females as there are males. All the ethnicities are present equally as well. So.
It sounds amazing and very interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing your deck. We're going to have to move on, though. Thank you for that. Bashar is up next. Bashar, maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. I apologize if I am. Let us know how it's pronounced.
Yeah, you're good. It was Bashar, actually.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Well, my name is Bashar Labassi, and I am from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm the founder of Jewelry Sparkle, and our company will be producing and selling jewelry cleaning products and metal polishing products. We are a pre-revenue company, and we are seeking $240,000 in exchange for 40% equity. I'll link my pitch deck and our website, including my email, if you are interested in moving forward with us.
Just out of curiosity, what makes your product different from what already exists out there?
Well, I went to the, the malls in Vegas, like they have some mall, like a mall called the Fashion Show Mall, and I purchased a couple of products from my, my competitors, and I tested them and I compared them to my product, and they have like very low quality and low performing product other than my product. So my product will be like, it's really great.
Is there a patent or is this a trade secret formula?
Yeah, it's a trading secret formula.
Okay, anybody have any questions? Appreciate you coming to pitch us. Meet up with others in the chat and we'll move on. Stefan, did I get that right? You're up next.
Yes, got that right. Thank you. Yeah, so I am Stefan. I actually left my job pretty recently as a VP of engineering to create a company in the social dating space. It's actually an idea I've had for 6 years, and I spoke with many people around the world. My goal is to create a global platform to allow people to connect, whatever their interest is, and to really meet in real life. It can be dating, friendship, activities, it doesn't matter what it is, really, but it's really to just allow to connect in a very safe way. The goal is to be very inclusive and the most safe platform there where safety and privacy are really some of the core values. These days, there's huge problems in safety and authenticity online. So that's some of the things I intend to work on. The goal of being really like a global platform. Many users on many different apps right now. Find them on Match.com, Tinder, Reddit, and other people. And I want to build something that allows to build any type of other apps on top of the same platform and really connect people. I actually very familiar in building platform. I built Apple Maps from the ground up, Sony PlayStation. I actually worked very early on Tinder, Match.com, so I'm very familiar with the space. Actually, I want to use NFTs to also finance and build a core group of users with many benefits around real life for the platform. And I'm looking to raise 1.25 million on a convertible debt. I was just accepted on fundable.com, and I am live as of yesterday, actually, on that platform.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? We're going to move on then. Meet others in the chat, Stefan. So we're up now with John. You're up next.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So my name is John Madrigal. I am the co-founder and COO of 3D Continuum. We are a San Francisco-based enterprise SaaS AI startup. At 3D, we are addressing a $1.8 trillion bad data problem in the construction industry. And we say, why such a large number? Because 96% of the data created in the construction industry is either unusable or simply filed or tossed away, never to be seen again. Much like what Salesforce did for sales operations, we are doing for the construction operations. To do that, we have developed an AI cloud-based platform that provides customers with historical, real-time, and predictive operational analytics. To date, we've achieved some early product market fit, including successful completion of 5 customer pilots that thus far have resulted in 2 enterprise paying customers. We're also anticipating year-end revenue to reach 250,000. So we've assembled a great team, created an excellent product, and we have good traction. With that said, we are seeking to raise our first outside investment to build upon this early success. Thank you for your time. Happy to answer any questions.
Is it possible that you can just grow from sales and revenues rather than investment?
It is. We do have a great beachhead market that we have early inroads and have a lot of customer attraction. It is an enterprise sale, so there is a longer sales cycle. But that being said, we are seeking to raise the funds to scale more rapidly and bring on some key hires to help with that, especially customer success and the follow-on. To date, we bootstrapped this so pretty well, and we get to the point we're at and the traction that we've gotten.
Anybody have a question?
How much are you raising?
Currently, we are at raising 2.5 million on a seed round.
And do you know approximately how many salespeople you plan to hire with that much?
Yeah, I'd be happy to share that with you. We can go through it in a little more detail, a little longer conversation, but happy to share the details in chat, and we can go through the full hire up plan.
Hi, John. Have you explored partners in the Middle East region yet?
So we do have some business development activity occurring in the Middle East, in Dubai specifically. In our beachhead is really maritime at the moment, but construction firms as a whole. So would love to hear if you have some customers or intros. We'd be happy to look at that.
Please connect with me via LinkedIn. You'll be able to find my info in the chat.
Okay.
And I actually think I have someone who might serve as a potential customer, investor, or both.
Yeah, great. Yeah, no, that'd be great.
I'd like to, did you send me your stuff already?
It's potential that Sam may have, but I'll send it to you for sure.
Yeah, would you've got my email address? That's the best way to go.
Yes.
It's in there.
Okay.
Okay, or you can check, you can send it, chat to me and I'll send it to you. But I used to live in Dubai, and I'm connected to all the very large builders and developers in Dubai, MR, Damac, and several of the others. They were my clients over there. So we might have something here in common that we could talk about, because I know they're looking for stuff. And so are the Saudis, by the way. They're planning to build an entirely new city called Neom. And I don't know if you've seen pictures of it, but there's a lot of opportunity in the Middle East right now for what you're doing.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're going to move on. Thank you, John. Up next is Dan.
Oh, hi. Is that me?
That is you.
Well, great. Hello, everyone. I'm first time venture person here, but looks like a great job and a great group of folks. I'm Dan Tweed. I'm a third-time candidate for city council here in lovely Ventura County, Thousand Oaks. I'm looking to double my vote count from 2020 and keep doubling until I'm actually on the council without spending any money. I'm keeping money out of politics without spending any. I'm just going on the strength of good ideas like land value taxation, which the original Monopoly game was based on, people not getting money without, just rent-seeking behavior, unearned wealth. That's what's destroying inequality in our economy. And we can actually use political policies like a property tax shift, where you're not taxed on the improvements. That would be a start to bring back some of this equality. I'm also the founder of something called the Permatrail Project, which you can find at permatrail.org. Kind of just points to a Facebook group right now. But that's the idea of permaculture, which is kind of a food forest, permanent agriculture. It's a way to have minimal disruption of the landscape with maximum Edenicity, which means an Eden-like environment around you. And if we could interconnect all these thousands of permaculture installations that are already existing around the world, and also make more trails between them, we would actually have a global greenway, and we could have I call them humane rights. We need an upgrade from human rights to humane rights, where we give rights to nature and we leave room for nature. I'm a big fan of the 30 by 2030 idea, where we return 30% of the land area to natural habitat. I'm also on the Gigaton Carbon Removal X Prize. There's a team called Tuvalu-51.org, which is building seasteads for the millions of refugees in the world, where they can actually rejuvenate the ocean deserts and live sustainably and peacefully on mega scale ocean habitats. And I'm kind of in a pre-revenue phase, but you know, I'm looking for any interns or help on the campaign or Permatrail or Tuvalu51.org. And that's probably about my time. Appreciate you calling on me, and live long and prosper, everyone.
Funny. Okay, Dan, thanks for sharing all those initiatives. Did anybody have a thought or a question real quick?
Yeah, this is Mariam. Dan, I would just like to know more about that project that you're a part of regarding carbon, since I am also in a similar space as in climate and carbon emissions, plastic pollution. So I'll send you my info. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the X Prize challenge that Peter Diamandis and Elon Musk are doing. I think there's like $50 million worth to be awarded by 2025. And there's different teams working on land, ocean, atmospheric carbon capture to really address the critical climate crisis and that we're in. Thanks for the question.
Miriam, by the way, who just asked the question, she's developed the alternative to plastics. So her version is biodegradable or plant-based and is really interesting. And it would be worthwhile for those of you who are trying to save the planet to circle back with her and see what she's up to. I've had the pleasure of learning more about it recently, and I'm very impressed. And Dan, thank you so much for presenting tonight. Nice to have you join our community. We're going to move on.
Could she put her information in the chat? I don't see.
You will. You'll find each other in the chat.
I will. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce your name correctly. Ilshot, how close did I get?
Yeah, man, it's right. Yeah.
Oh, wow, amazing. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
You're up next.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Ilshot. Yeah. I'm co-founder of DebHand here. We are building a meta marketplace for all local services. It might be home remodeling, pet services, contractors, handyman, legal services, you name it. So DebHand simplifies the way people get and provide local services by AI automation and standardization. Imagine you have an app that interacts with you like an experienced general contractor and friend, just a pocket size. So you can create the task through dialogue and get an instantly quote. And then DebHand explains to the quote to professionals and instantly connect with the most relevant and vetted contractor. DebHand provides intelligent recommendations and guidance to avoid any unnecessary upsell and to make sure that everything is done right according to building codes, for example. And it provides also opportunity to buy materials within a built-in marketplace for materials and tools through local independent stores. There is so much more that DebHand can provide for customers and professionals and to free up their time and save their money. We are in pre-revenue and we are going to launch in a couple of weeks MVP. So far, we have a contract with a construction company in San Francisco Bay Area for pilot project, and we have 179 people on our wait list. We are looking for angel investors who interested to invest $250K to launch MVP and to get tractions. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Well, go to the chat and maybe you'll find some people who'll be interested in following up with you. Appreciate you pitching to us tonight. We're going to move on to Courtney up next.
Sounds good. All right, so my name is Courtney Baxtrom. I am a software quality systems engineer, actually for a startup Series D, and that's by trade. And then I'm actually an operative lead for a different pre-seed startup called Mobilemsk. I think our CEO Sam was on probably a week or so ago, so I'm just here to kind of reiterate our mission and everything. But Mobilemsk is essentially for people with back pain who are really frustrated by the inefficiencies of traditional care. We're essentially building an algorithmic solution and software for the masses of patients that get lost in the healthcare systems. And we want to really make sure that we provide a bit more of a comprehensive and more accountable, streamlined bit of digital healthcare. Mobilemsk, like I said, is pre-seed. Our mission is really to provide immediate guidance and relief for back pain, as it will be a software and it would go to service products. So we started in December. We went live with our first clinical trial in August, and now we're working on a full MVP to start selling to larger health systems, employers, insurance companies, things like that. So our priority is to hire designers, a CTO, more developers, and really start to scale in sales.
Okay, it sounds really interesting. Does anybody have any questions?
I do. Hi, Courtney.
Hi.
Any plans to integrate, I guess, the information you process with image data, like spine MRIs?
So that is kind of where we're thinking that this could probably grow in many different areas. We were asked to if there's going to be any sort of like monitoring system that it will engage with different devices. And so right now I'm heavy on the more algorithmic side, making sure that we have, very sophisticated software that could be integrated into different platforms.
Yeah, we connect on LinkedIn, but we'll talk more because I can measure spine and modic shapes, right?
Yeah.
Spine deformities better than anything out there. I'll send you a use case video. You'll fall in love with it.
Oh, love it. Thank you.
Anybody else? I loved just watching that interaction. That's what we're all about as a community, is connecting the dots right there. Courtney, hopefully you and your team, Sam, can come back on the 24th for the life science event. I would love to have you guys pitch at that event. We're going to move on. Thank you so much. Gary, you're up next. And Gary, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask a question somebody else asked me about our company. By the way, I'm on Gary's board of directors, so I know a little bit. What's the difference between what we're doing and ADP if somebody wanted to, is already in their program and already using all of their services? Why would they hire us?
Well, first of all, we're partnered with ADP through the ADP marketplace. And so we're pre-integrated to their mid-market product called Workforce Now. And so we have better document automation and management. And so imagine that you're a company of 100, 500, 2,000 employees, and your employees are moving from place to place, getting raises, and maybe those moves require 3 to 6 different sign-offs. We can do that electronically. We can handle all the documents and make that go. We also have a better benefits administration platform. So we are working with ADP as a best-of-breed solution. You're on mute there, Mark.
I'm sorry. I accidentally clicked off your hand raise, so you moved on my gallery for a second there.
Okay.
All right. So tell our audience what we're looking for.
So we're looking to raise $3 million in Series C preferred monies. I've invested $2.3 million, and so I invite the investors to come put their money beside mine.
There's a great opportunity here for those of you that would like to dive deeper. Gary can explain all the details, and it's best if you actually meet him for at least a half an hour to an hour to fully understand all the amazingness that he's created, he and the team have created over the years. And I'm just along for the ride.
No, you've been very helpful, and I'm very proud of what you've created here as a community. And I love supporting you every week. We'll use the money for growth. That's what we're here for. We have a proven product, a great solution. I'd love to talk to anybody who's interested. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Gary. We're going to move on. Jesus is up next.
He's on mute.
Great. Sorry. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mark. Jesus Reyes here. It's my second week coming, and I really wanted to have the opportunity to just reiterate the message. Again, I represent Cutis AI. We are an artificial intelligence platform that is helping companies in the skincare, medical, beauty, and life science space, specifically in the product innovation and R&D teams. We're able to help them get to market 7 times faster and 10 times cheaper than they would otherwise. Our goal is to help people who have face-related abnormalities and skin conditions, being able to better treat them, detect them, and get to a place where not only physically, but also mentally, they're going to be able to be in a much better place. We have launched a SAFE for $2 million. We are actually already revenue generating. We've actually have as clients, we've got Estee Lauder, P&G, Shiseido, and the government of Canada as our existing clients. And we are looking for, like I mentioned, a $2 million capital raise so that we can actually execute the second phase of our strategy, which is a go-to-market strategy of being able to reach the consumer end, right? We already have 1.3 trillion synthetic faces that we're able to use for the clients that we have and new clients to be able for them to expedite the product innovation and R&D. But now we want to go to the consumer side and be able to get them to start using the technology so they can actually start enjoying of the benefits that our platforms. We have 11 different platforms that are all owned by us, intellectual property. So I'll leave it at that. And if there's any questions, I am happy to answer.
Anybody? Okay, Jesus, thank you for your time and presentation. We're going to move on. Todor, how did I do on your first name?
Great.
Good.
Thank you, Mark and Luke. Thank you, Mark and Luke. You're doing a great job with this forum. I really appreciate it. Short, I'm Todor Karalanov, and I'm founder and CEO of a Predigma, a ultra deep tech startup for functional heart and brain diagnostics, imaging, and perhaps even treatment. And we are also extremely interested, in parallel to non-invasive brain imaging, what we call no drill trill. If we compare this to the invasive approach of the companies like Neuralink and others. So the big difference between functional imaging and let's say normal MRI CT imaging is that these type of modalities, they look at morphology and what actually happened already to your body. Functional imaging also can detect what happened to your body in the past, but is showing it exactly what is happening right now at this particular moment. And this is extremely important for heart and the brain imaging, and of course for the brain-computer interfacing. We are raising $2 million in a seed round, and that's about it for now. Any questions?
It sounds interesting, especially being able to see in the past. That is kind of intriguing sounding. I don't know if you've sent me a deck yet.
I will.
Well, yeah, I'd like to actually learn a little bit more. Does anybody else have any quick questions? We're going to move on, then please join us on the 24th for the life science event if you're available.
That's going to be great.
Great. Up next is John. Hello, John.
This is the best Zoom thing that I have in the industry. I love it. I look forward to it all the time. As I think some of you will recognize, I'm in the field of OBGYN and women's health. However, I own another company called Sanitine, and this goes to John that started off with the UVC project. Is we've developed advanced technologies where hand sanitizers would actually be built on the wall. So there's no containers, there's no motors, there's no gears, it doesn't take much power, and people will be able to go and wash their hands or clean their hands and walk away. People don't have to follow up and fill anything. The system was built for hospitals, of course, where we're actually able to put dispensers right on the doorway. They don't stick out. Anybody that walks into the room has got to wash their hands, and that's the way it is. on cruise lines at the time with the COVID, they needed to be able to take temperatures and heart rate and all that stuff. The same dispenser, the size of an outlet, will be able to provide not only the hand dispensers, but also temperature screening, the pulse rate, and oxygen sense. And so they'll be able to tell everybody of what their condition is on the project. We are a tremendous thorn in Purell and Echo Labs. I've got over $2 million in this thing in fighting, like Boeing and Honeywell, but we're now free to go wherever we want. I'm not looking for money. We're looking to move it into a company or a group of individuals that want to run the enterprise, and that's where I am. It's great technology for washing your hands. One last thing. The technology is the smallest that anybody's ever seen. It could actually fit in the seat of an airplane where the table closes up into it. It's built right into there where people are able to clean their hands anytime they want.
All right, that sounds really interesting. And by the way, John, I have a side business that recruits talent to work with startups. So, my people might be able to help you find the people.
Okay, can I ask one thing that I'm going, there's another thing is, there's a lot of people that have ideas that they want to be entrepreneurs. I would like to start or somebody may want to do it, a little app that if people are looking for something that they want to get going that has value and everything, they should be able to go to that app and look what's available, what their capabilities are, and get some help and go in with it.
Good ideas. Does anybody want to?
I had a question, Mark. Sorry. I really like what you're doing, and I think I can help you in terms of building sales or finding someone to acquire. So reach out to me at Jack Torabin, jtorabin@compsciences.com, and let's have a discussion.
Okay, I'm willing to give it away. I mean, I got a lot of money in it, but I'm in another area that I've been putting my effort into.
I see, but that I am very well connected to hospital systems and to distributors in that area, so it might be something worth talking about.
Okay, Jack, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you, John. That was very nice. Up next is Nathan.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me, Mark. This is my first time at this event.
Welcome.
I'm working on a platform that allows crowdfunding investments into business ownership. In most cases, business ownership is unobtainable for the average individual. And most times business ownership also gives you some of the best returns on your investment with growth and equity. So I'm looking to create a platform that monetizes that into a crowdfunding platform. I think you're on mute.
No, I'm sorry. Okay. Have you developed any of it yet? Do you have an MVP or where are you with it?
Not yet. I am still in the process of completing my pitch deck with Performa and the cost outlay of the returns.
We'll definitely keep the community updated as you progress forward. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts?
Yeah, Nathan, this is David Culver. I'm a mentor for the Founder Institute and have been for over a decade. That's typically an idea stage accelerator, or for lack of a better term. I know we're starting a new thing in Chicago, like in this week or next week or whenever it is. That's generally a great thing because you get about 30 different mentors per cohort, where everybody there has built a tech company for the most part, and a lot of them have exited tech companies. So it's a really good way to do that. If you haven't checked out Founder Institute before, there's probably some other ones too I could recommend.
Appreciate it.
Great. Anybody else?
Yes, Mark, if I may, there's a company called Idea Factory, and I'm trying to find their email, see if I can get you the founding partners' contact details. So they're looking for companies that are just in the idea stage, and they help you get the funding so you can actually put everything together. And they also help you then, of course, later on find long-term investors.
Thank you.
Anybody else? We're gonna move on. Thank you, Nathan. Up next is Lalit. I'm not sure I got that right. Tell us how to pronounce your name properly.
Hello, hi, Lalit here. Thank you, Mark. And first, I tell about myself. I'm an individual researcher and develop a new develop a new method for produce heat energy. My English is very poor. I am not from academic. I am not for commercial field. I am just using my life in research without a academic background. Okay, and so now I simply make a new method to generate heat energy by which we produce heat for thermal power stations instead of coal, gas, and many things. So efficiency is very high. Cost of produced electricity cut down to 80%. Okay, and we lost dependency from coal, from fossil fuels, and I got Indian patent already. Another patent in the queue, and solve chemical reaction. My invention is a chemical reaction, basically at high temperature. Temperature range start from 700 degrees Celsius to 3000 degrees Celsius, and efficiency chemical reaction theory, references, many things. So, and this is 100% sure. I have 100% proof for all reaction. I stopped practical reaction experiment because this is a control atomic reaction. My invention is a 100% solution of solar energy. I made solar panels by this reaction. This is for thermal energy. This is for propulsion, using propulsion. This reaction at high temperature, near about 30,000 degrees Celsius, we use in for medical industries, for radiation, cancer therapy. We get CS3 methyl for plastic industries. Okay, and in last, this reaction goes on the nuclear too, control fusion reaction. But I am not goes there. Presently, I am going for thermal, 100% carbon emission reduce, zero pollution. What we invest for, what fuel we invest for energy, we get back in last. So no wastage of fuel. No wastage of fuel. World saving invention, and ROI, return of investment, is in trillions dollars. First thing. Second thing, total energy sector change, no pollution, and I do this to save world. I spread my message in all over world.
Well, thank you for joining.
Mark,
Go ahead.
can I volunteer to make an attempt to communicate with Lalit over the next week and try and interpret and explain what it is he's trying to get at? Because he's come at us for a couple of weeks, and it may take some effort, but it might be very worth it.
Thank you, Justin. That is great, and I think that's the next best step, because it was really hard to hear, and there's a lot of technical information that was being, difficult for our audience to understand. I believe I was having, I own a power plant and I'm in the energy business. I'd like to learn more, but I actually couldn't understand. So
Okay,
but I
we'll do
appreciate
that.
Lilith that you called. Where are you calling from?
Thank you. India.
India.
From India.
Perfect. Okay, well, we do have a plan on how to move it forward.
Lalit, find me in the chat, and I'm also in LinkedIn under the name Justin Lancaster.
I don't know how to use functions. I'm not know about this.
Do you have email?
I actually must have his email somewhere because he registered.
Mark, if you have his
So
email,
Justin,
give
you
me
and
his email.
I can hook up on the side to get that going.
All right, we'll do
We're
that.
we're gonna move on. That was great. Thomas, you're up next.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. Thank you. My business partner, CJ, is also on this call, such that together we may be able to answer your questions better. Okay.
How you doing?
Not many people. Oh, CJ, go ahead.
I was saying hi, my name is CJ.
Okay. So I was going to say, not many people who sustain a disability develop their own workaround for it. I'm the inventor of Memory, a digital memory mobile application. I seek to change how we can live with memory loss. I use Memory because I'm unable to remember my own life's events because I was hit by a car on November 22nd, 2010, sustaining a traumatic brain injury leading to severe episodic memory loss. Right now, I cannot recall what happened yesterday. Yet I've convinced a fascinating woman to marry me, have traveled alone globally, and have earned a graduate degree at Temple University. I've written a memoir about what's happened with my life and Memory, which I want to publish when Memory is available for everybody. I think it's silly how medical staff still today suggest people write down their memories in notebooks before they might grab their phones for something. So initially, before Memory, I decided to use Twitter privately as my memory. I spoke openly about my disability, use of digital memory strategies, and media outlets loved this. We appeared in local, national, international pieces, but when the opportunity to develop a digital memory mobile application came about, we took it. Memory provided entries, graphs, statistics on demand. Media outlets also love that. But I don't think memory is so much about me individually or our company. Instead, I think memory loss is universal. We all forget the overwhelming majority of our days. Thinking about how we use the computers in our pockets for so much, why not supplement our episodic memories? We've previously had thousands of users without spending any money on acquisition. And at this time, we need the funding to further develop Memory sufficiently and release it once more for public use. We've also learned surprising details about the markets. They've identified themselves to us, parents recording their children's lives, caretakers recording the lives of the people they took care of. And yeah, I'm just ready to keep running with this. CJ may have more to add at this time, or could help us to rapidly answer his questions given my disability. Thank you.
Wow, that was really interesting, actually. I would like to learn more about that. And your presentation was great, by the way. And does anybody have any quick questions?
I don't have a question, but I just want to say that having the vulnerability to get up there and talk about this for something that's that personal is absolutely wonderful. I know this isn't something that we'd probably necessarily fit for, my organization or anything, but connect with me through LinkedIn. I'd be more than happy to see about any networking I can help you do.
Mr. Smith Curtis, I deeply appreciate that. I will attempt to do so, and please accept my disability if you want to connect with me first before I connect with you. All right, but I will attempt to connect with you currently over LinkedIn. Okay?
All right, perfect.
That was nice. Thank you, Curtis. Thank you, Thomas. That was very interesting. All right, we're gonna move on to Ronnie, who is up next. You're on mute still, Ronnie.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I am. Ronnie Meek. That's
Okay. Hey, how's it going, everybody? I think I'm on a whole nother level, way off to the right side of y'all, what you guys are doing in technology and all that. But there's two people I'm interested in. It'd be that Karen Frame and the guy with the fertilizer stuff, because actually I do consulting in the meat industry. What I do is I go and train people to operate their own meat processing plants. I ain't heard a whole lot of anything about the food industry in here, and it's kind of interesting to not hear about it, but then I heard a little bit about it. So I appreciate you guys inviting me to this, but I'm not looking for any kind of investments or anything. I'm self-made. So, but what I am doing is I'd like to network with these people or whoever is interested in meat processing or sustainability, food processing, organic or whatever. I've been doing this stuff for 27 years and that's what I'm interested in. And, you know, everybody here is very interesting people so far. So I like listening to what y'all have to say, but that's where I'm at. I'm not real, I'm kind of on the barbaric side. So I'm not in the tech world with you guys. I'm on the other end of the spectrum, guys.
Well, interesting adjective. I just want to say we do have some food and ag founders that have pitched us previous weeks. And if you continue to attend our events, you might find some founders that are a little bit more in your industry and what you like. Was there somebody that had a comment that I accidentally overstepped on?
I'm looking for Karen Frame. I know she's on here. I see her in the well, I did see her, but
yeah, she's here. You can definitely hook up. I don't know, Ronnie, if you know, have you opened up the chat function of the Zoom? That's where it's easy for you to meet up with Karen.
I live in, I already sent her a connect message on LinkedIn. So, but there's a guy that was talking about nitrogen fertilizers, and that was a big issue this year with the demand. And I live in Iowa, so I'm right in the middle of the Corn Belt here, and there's a lot of people struggling to get some fertilizer at a reasonable cost. I don't know, you guys. Everybody here probably eats. I don't know what you eat, but you got to eat to live. So, I mean, that's why I'm in this business. And I've been doing this in the big plants. I've worked as a operations manager in big plants, little plants. So I'm all about the little guy, mom and pop shops going in. You know, they raise their own animals, or the neighbor raises and does their thing, organic, whatever. And, you know, you got to have food, and that's what I'm all about. And right now,
talk with them. Hey, yo, Ronnie, check your chat. I sent you a link too. I want to talk to you offline.
Oh, God, I'm glad you're here tonight. How nice. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, like let me add this to it a little bit. I got 9 plants under my belt that are operating and functional now. In the last couple of years, because of COVID, you know, we found a weak link in our food supply as far as meat goes, and it really hit home with us, and that's why I just jumped in on that, and here I am. So.
Okay, good. Thank you so much for sharing. It's great to have you here. Hopefully,
Mark, can I just say something to him?
Go ahead, John.
I just wanted to say, you know, air quality is really important in our food supply chain. So I'd love to talk to you about that, because COVID actually, you know, like you mentioned, unveiled a really weak point in our food chain. So, and plus, I'm not one to want to get rid of our cows. I'd rather solve the problems with technology. So our system, we believe, also can mitigate methane emissions. And I think using technology to solve the problem would be much better than having to get rid of the cows. So
absolutely. And you know what? I want to say this, 90% of these guys that are doing farming are doing their best to be as green as possible. They recycle everything they got going on, and are actually doing a pretty good job at it. But if we can help them take it a step further, then we would all benefit from it tremendously, I believe.
Agree.
Very good. Thank you, Ronnie, for joining us. We're going to move on. Next up is CJ Scott.
Hi, my name is CJ Scott. I was part of the Thomas's presentation. So if it's okay with you, I can give some more information about memory in general. Is that okay?
That's okay. We are not seeing your video, but just letting you know in case you want to put your video on.
Having some kind of technical difficulties at the moment, but basically, just piggybacking off what Thomas said. As you know, Thomas spoke about his disability, and essentially, what Thomas did in the beginning was use Twitter to record his memories. However, he partnered with the company I work for called Jump On Studios, and we designed an app specifically for Thomas at first, but decided that there are other people that struggle with his disability as well, specifically memory loss. With memory in the early stages, we just allow people to record their memories and search them up. However, we decided to take it down and make some adjustments and everything, memory now allows people to search their memories, create memories, but also allows them to geotag their own memories. So when they go to clear locations and everything, it notifies them and shows them other memories that they have, and allows them to tag people and other activities they did while at those locations. It records graphs as well to give statistics on how many memories it costs a day, week, and year, and we're just trying to make life that easier for them.
Honestly, it was very hard to hear you. And I'm sure we would like to learn more. So maybe next week you can call in from a better connection, because it would have been nice to have been able to hear the details, but it's just too difficult. I don't think anybody really got a full understanding of it. But thank you for coming, and we'll try again. Let's move on to Alexander.
Yes, can you hear me?
At the moment,
hello.
Hopefully. Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. My name is Alexander Materukin, and I'm a CEO and co-founder of Dreamcatcher project. Our project deals with the correction of sleeping for people suffering from the consequences of post-traumatic syndrome, as well as solving problems with insomnia. As you know, chronic insomnia and PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, affects a lot of people in the world, or about 1.5 billion people. Our project aims to help these people through the use of artificial intelligence-powered program that corrects human brain activity through audiovisual files with using wearable devices. We have the necessary specialists on the board, such as PhDs in the subject and artificial intelligence engineers. Our team is additionally reinforced by serial entrepreneurs and marketers who help us in project development. At the moment, we have attracted about 700 followers, which we are gradually converting into the paying users on subscription model. We expect that by the end of the year, the number of paying users will be at least 3,000 people. Now we plan to enter the pre-seed round investments in order to increase our marketing policy and form to go to the market strategy. So in our estimates, we need about 500k euros for a good start. Thank you so much.
Where are you calling in from?
From Russian Federation.
Okay, so the connection was good enough. I think I got a bunch of it, but I'd like to actually see a deck or something that you might be able to send that's written so I could better understand what you're doing there. It did sound intriguing. There may be others that would also like to understand it a little bit better. Does anybody have any quick questions or thoughts before I move on?
Yeah, I'd also like to get a deck, Mark, if you don't mind, and my email address is there, so please feel free to email it to me. That would be great.
And you'll find my email address in the chat also, but it's venture1starters@gmail.com for anybody who wants to email me anything related to the Venture Starters community. So thank you very much, Alexander. We're going to move on. Up next is Al, the other one. You know, it's funny how we basically started with a gentleman who dressed in a suit and tie as our very first speaker, and we're ending tonight in another gentleman. Thank you, Al, for dressing up for us tonight. I'm actually going to be helping Al and his company. I really like what he's doing. Go ahead, Al. Give us a little bit of a 2-minute elevator pitch.
Yes, Mark, thanks for the opportunity to speak here. As a strategic public relations expert, one of the most important things I've learned over the years is your worth is what you know. Equally important in the global interconnected economy, it is important not to waste one's social capital. One must reinvest. Today, networking is not about climbing the ladder of success. It's about working together, co-creating, forming partnerships, and building long-term relationships based on shared values. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Mark and Luke for creating a place where key stakeholders can inform, inspire, and engage. Needless to say, the venture starter community is worthy of merit and is priceless. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Al. And just out of curiosity, is there anybody else that has had some positive experiences meeting others in the community by showing up? I'd be curious to hear any feedback and ideas and suggestions of how we can make this a better community. It's a work in progress. Understand that we're just starting our 7th week of these every week events. This is our 7th night. And you know, we are evolving, and I'm open to all suggestions and thoughts, but I'm just curious because a few of you have reached out to me to share with me some very successful news about meeting people here. I'm just curious if anybody else wants to take a moment and just chime in.
Can I, this is John, I'd like to say something, Mark. I've met some really nice people in this group. I got it, like I said before, this is probably one of the best groups that I've been involved in. A lot of people have reached out, want to learn what I'm doing. I learn what they're doing, and I've made a lot of friends. And it's awesome. It's just something that I've never seen before. I've been involved in before. Thank you so much.
And I'll second that.
Mark, go ahead. Yeah, no. So yeah, Mark, I go ahead, Dr. Jeff.
Absolutely. I was just complimenting Mark and agreeing with him. This has turned into something we had no idea when we first started doing this, that it would blossom into what it is. And it's fantastic. And it's grown out of something else that we had started a while back. But this has turned out to be quite valuable for a lot of people. And I've met a lot of great people as well.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
was
Mark.
going to mention that. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, Mark. When you and I synced up for a one-on-one, yeah, I definitely have some thoughts and ideas. You've done a great job. It's improved every week. I know I missed the last few, but this is now my 4th, and I've actually, speaking of Al and I got connected through this community, and I've met with some potential investors. I've done the Startup Right event, so I've met Luke. And Nick, so you guys are got a good community going here, and I like how you're engaging with everyone. You're sending out the reminders, and it's nice and warm, so and collegial. So, but at the same time, I'm interested in building communities, and that's what we're doing with Ricotti as well. So I'd love to share some thoughts and ideas. I could do that offline, but thank you for the opportunity, and it's always a joy.
I think you may think about there's going to be more days that you're going to have to do it, or longer periods of time. But I think, like you just said, I think there's a lot of things going on where one time a week may not be enough. How exciting is that?
It's a lot of work, though, but I appreciate it. Let's just focus on the one time a week for now.
Right. The one thing I would suggest, though.
All I can say is, this is something I say all the time. If I have a bad day, all I have to do is see Mark smiling, and I feel great.
Right. There's lots of smiling. The one thing I would say, though, Mark, that we could do quickly, I mean, it depends on you because this is your structure, but if you really want to keep it at 2 minutes, there's some useful countdown clocks so people know if they are going over, or if you could have like a polite, okay.
Apologize. There was just too much background noise there. It was even hard to hear Daryl. I know Dina has been trying to make a comment, and maybe if you sort of wave your hand next, and then Dina, you can make the open. You can go next. Go. You have to unmute yourself because I muted everybody just to get rid of the background noise.
Hello, Mark. I just want to say thank you for everything. Since I been with you, I got to meet Scott Moffat and his partner David Newman, And I've been in 3 meetings with them now. And today was amazing with the meeting that I was with. And I also have to send Jack Torben where he asked me to send him. And I'm coming right for you, Jack. I just had too many things going on, but you're next. So
All
thank
right.
you too, Jack, and thank everyone.
Okay, thank you, Dina. That was very nice to hear. Justin, did you have a comment you were trying to sneak in there? It was hard to tell who wanted to say what.
Yeah, it was just a quick echo of how this is very, very valuable. I had a 4-hour telephone call yesterday with Oliver from Envolve, who presented 2 times ago. And he and I noticed, we presented the same night, but we noticed this overlap in our technology. And we analyzed it yesterday and went really super deep dive into what he's doing, what I'm doing. And it was just fabulous. It just inspiring for both of us and very, very useful in terms of feedback. So yeah, this is just a great networking format.
It is turning out amazing. I have to say, I'm so first, I want to thank all of you for especially hanging in there till the very end. Let me just turn that off real quick. And because we're going to wrap it up, I do want to hear more from all of you about your experiences. We'll have more time in future events. But thank you so much for showing up every week. This is really amazing. What? Dan, go ahead.
Is it possible that the chat has been archived? I didn't get to.
It always so there is a way to actually make a copy of the entire chat. I don't remember the way that you do that. Maybe somebody will comment on that.
Yeah, so make sure you're at a full screen, and then at the bottom in the chat function next to the smiley faces 3 dots, you could hit save chat, and that will download that to your a folder. You could change where it gets downloaded to, or short of that, you can copy all and paste as well. But the best thing to do for organization is to hit those 3 dots and hit the save chat function.
Could I email you for that, Mark? Possibly. I can't do that. I don't have the real update.
Dan, don't worry. I'll email it to you. I just did it for you.
Oh, perfect. Oh, thank you all. Oh.
Is the on YouTube or is the video?
Oh yes. Okay, so I am posting them on YouTube, and literally the YouTube finally started to click in, where people are coming to us in big numbers just in the last week or two. So we have our own channel called Venture Starters. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We have about 450 to 500 people who have subscribed so far. I expect that will be growing because we added like 200 or 300 just in the last 10 days. And the average video replay is getting around 2,000 people to watch it. So, please come and like them as well. We have like 250 to our best video has 600 likes. Those likes are helping because they're getting more people to see our videos than our little community. And our community is now, through these videos, attracting new people that are joining our community. So we're trying to get the message out as wide as we can. And YouTube is the latest way that we're doing that. I want to wrap it up because I've kept you all here so long. Thank you so very, very much for being part of this, continuing to show up. You are all awesome. I love this event and hearing from you. Please try and join in and show yourself if you haven't, taken the step to present or just announce who you are. Please, in future weeks, let us know who you are. And we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. And for those of you who are in the life science industry, please join us a week from Saturday, the 24th. You can always find those events and register at the venturestarters.com website. Good night, everybody. Thank you again. It was a wonderful event. Really liked hearing all the presentations tonight.
Thank you, Mark. I got a glass of wine for you if you're ready.
I've got water, but yeah, maybe I'll switch to wine soon. One day, maybe we'll all meet in person. Who knows?
Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? All right. Bye, everybody. It's been fun.
Everyone. Thank you, Mark.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.